What are some things that a teenager should avoid? Really loud music. I mean the kind at a concert front row loud. BC tinnitus really sucks. And then there's me, a teen with tinnitus without listening to music or going to concerts. Same here dude. Noise machines are a lifesaver. I knew I had to slow down when I could hear the ring over the machine. Another phase to look forward to is when certain noises only make the ringing louder. I just love playing and writing loud music too much to stop. And even with ear protection it adds up. Although for all the dangerous hobbies/addictions I've seen people get sucked into, if tinnitus remains my worst self-inflicted damage, I've gotten off easy. Pregnancies. Addiction. Debt and pregnancy are the big ones. But avoid waiting for life to begin. It already has. Go in some positive direction. Even if you're not sure it's the exact right one. That your life has started is some real shit. I wish I was told this at 12 or 13. I would have done so much more with my life I think. I spent middle and high school playing video games waiting to be an adult essentially. My mom found her dream job in her 30s and my current stepdad in her 50s. Don't be too concerned with whether the things you're doing now is gonna be forever. Do what you can to open doors for yourself, but don't feel forced to think you need to know with who or what you should spend the rest of your life with at this point. Time gives you time to discover more things. Discover more things. And eventually you'll find your way. Even if you didn't realize it. Stop thinking in today and forever. You got all the time to figure it out. Just get yourself a solid foundation and explore. Except for drugs. Don't explore things that you could get addicted to for the rest of your life. Yeah, my mom is married to my dad when she was 20. They are divorced now. She is much better and yeah, she is in her 30s too. Trying to change who they are/what they like so as to fit in. It's something you might regret later on. Not exploring your own individuality and hobbies. Yeah. Stop trying to tailor your personality to appeal to each new person you meet. You're not required to be everyone's best friend. It took me so long to figure this out. It wasn't until my early 20s that I figured out how I like to dress, what I like to do, or what music I enjoy, because I used to change according to other people's tastes. I'm 16, and I could count on one hand the number of friends I have. I always felt like I didn't have enough friends by seeing how many friends the popular and cool people from my school had. I'm really trying to not care about these kind of things anymore. But it's definitely hard with the pressure of society. You should have a GF. You should like this type of music. You should wear this kind of clothes. And it goes on and on. Close bracket. If you have a few good friends, then that's plenty. It's not an arms race. Don't worry about getting a GF yet. At your age they're too much of a distraction. Girls who are friends are much better. Anything you wouldn't want your mother to hear about at your trial. Best ducking comment right here. This is why I don't speak for a month when I create a new Netflix account. Fake friends. It's honestly better to have no friends than people who gossip about you and make snide remarks to you. I know everyone says this, but you will find your people. So true. Sometimes your people are not the ones you're grouped with just because you live in the same area. Life is so much more than high school. This shit happens in the work world too. Except there's no graduation date and your pension may rely on you putting up with those people. Gotta be real careful in that situation. Some people have no clue. Procrastination. Not as big as the other ones but my god. Procrastination can get so bad and affect you so horribly if you let it get out of hand. Yes. Teenagers need to hack themselves and figure out their own personal formula for productivity. Pays off big time. How would you suggest I do this? Teenager here. I'm not exactly on top of everything but I think I can have something to share. Crafting a specific schedule for each day and following that schedule as best as possible is probably my best method. It might look so obvious that it doesn't need mentioning, but it works better than anything I've ever tried. I think my brain forces me into it because I've probably already followed that schedule for weeks and it'll seem wrong to break consistency. Social media and seeking others' approval. That shit will destroy them for years. This terrifies me about my 2 kids. I was bullied as a kid in elementary and then high school. I had the ability to go home and forget about all of them and escape by playing video games. Fuck me. Kids these days don't get an escape. I have a 6 and a 5-year-old. I worry about when they're fully exposed to the world. All I can do is try to raise them to not put weight on what others think. I'm really struggling with the new question about what's the proper age to get a kid a smartphone. I'd like to hold it off for as long as possible, but it's really worth considering that at a certain age you're inhibiting their social life more than helping avoid internet addiction. I got mine around 10 or 13, but that was solely for the purpose of texting my mum. It also massively helped with my shit spelling, but other than that I hardly used it till my late teens. Though 13 years ago is a long time from today's online entertainment emo. Same. I think I got my first phone in 8th grade, maybe 7th. Lol, I know my older siblings were upset because they had to wait until they were older, but then the younger children always get more relaxed restrictions. But back then the phones were just for texting and calls and didn't really have internet access. Still, we use the shit out of SMS and AIM though. I cringe at the days you used to have to call a girl's landline for the first time and her dad would answer, and yeah, I'd have to ask for her and he would quiz who this is. Bad company. People that will try to use you and lead you down the wrong path. Avoid skipping the dentist. Even if money is tight, professional cleanings and preventive maintenance will pay dividends later in life. Edit. RIP my inbox. A horror story to prove the point. I caught a bad spell of depression some years ago and stopped taking care of myself in many ways, including flossing and going to the dentist. I ended up having to have surgery to hollow up and fill out a completely rotten tooth, costing insane amounts of money. I was in so much pain. To make matters worse, there was a surprise nerve in one of the roots of my teeth, meaning they nearly drilled while the area wasn't completely anesthetized. I've brushed my teeth religiously since, but sometimes we still find surprise holes from that time where I couldn't take care of myself for a few months. Take care of your teeth. Lack of sleep. It ain't make you cool. Go to bed early and enjoy full 9h night. Tell that to all my teachers right now. Believe me, I'd get 10+ hours if I could, but my schedule simply doesn't allow it. School lessons. Every teacher for every subject assumes you have literally nothing else to do but study that particular subject. My wife lived this life in high school. Went to a prep school that definitely prepared her for college, but she was up until 11 or later most weeknights doing homework. She said until she entered the honors college. College was easier than HS workload wise. Now she is a teacher at a prep school and she gives very little homework. Ever since I was in preschool, all the way to professional, I have considered homework a useless, futile task. You have it. You get some points towards a grade. You don't. You lose said points. That's that. Very few teachers actually go through reviewing issues with homework and why it wasn't completed. Most of them use it as a way to prove they're doing something. Nicotine. I've been smoking for 10 years, ever since I was 14, and nicotine is absolutely the worst drug and the hardest to cut out. There's no satisfying high to it, just cravings and dizziness. Any other drug would give you more bang for your buck. Suppressing emotions. It's okay to feel sad, angry, anxious, etc. Don't be made to feel bad for feeling this range of emotions through your teenage years. Wish someone taught me this. Emotions were discouraged in my household. Well, positive emotions were fine. But if I didn't look happy, my parents would get angry and yell at me. Now I'm trying to fix it by teaching myself what my parents didn't. But to be fair to them, they were raised like that too and didn't know any different. So to anyone who's going to have children or already has them, one of the biggest favors you can do your child is work through your own shit, because it will follow them and you'll realize it way too late. That is why they've been saying you should heal yourself first before having a child, so that your child wouldn't have to heal because of you. Avoid taking out large loans. Any loans if at possible. Though that's difficult if you go to college. Buying a brand new car at a young age is a bad idea. The majority of your small paycheck will be going toward that loan and the insurance. Adults trying to be too friendly / date you. You're not mature for your age. People their age don't want to be with them or around them for a reason. Yep, I remember when I was 14 and there were girls in my class dating men who were early 20s, and I thought it was pretty odd then. And now I realize these men probably went for young girls as they are easy to manipulate. Avoid listening to advice from idiots on the internet. Wait a second. And that is known as the internet idiot's paradox. Apostrophe. Direct strikes by lightning. Strike me down, Zeus. You don't have the bay. Not again. Not like this. Drugs. Absolutely drugs. Teenage brains aren't developed enough to handle that kind of dopamine. As someone who did drugs as a teen, this one would be at the top for me. It permanently ducked me up. Body, mind and all. It's been 8 years since I quit, and I've actually continued to decline even more since then. We are not being squares. A lot of us have been there and done that already. I wish I'd listened. The psycho cartels that make a lot of this shit don't care what permanent side effects their experimental sideshow flavor of ecstasy has on you. Thinking they're smarter than everybody else. We were all stupid at that age and you're no exception. People are stupid at all age. It true or ye be dumb. If you haven't been financially educated, credit cards. It's far too easy to get into debt with them and can really destroy your future for years. Also, if your parents are financially stable, ask them to add you on as an authorized user. This will help build credit without actually getting your own credit card. I was lucky enough to be added to a 30Y/O Discover card, and that's honestly the only reason I have good credit. Also, if you do get a credit card, only use what you can afford to pay off in a month. Most definitely tobacco and alcohol. Does nothing but waste time and money. Trust me, it's way easier to never touch shit than to try to remove it from you once you did. I'm honestly surprised I don't see this mentioned yet, but energy drinks, at least not in moderation. Especially the newer ones like Bang, that have an assload of caffeine. I was drinking upwards of 3 to 4 monsters a day as a teenager and wondered why I had insomnia. I'm pretty sure I don't have a heart problem, but even 1 cup of coffee makes my chest hurt a little now. Take care of your bodies, kids. Shoplifting. One of my school friends did this years ago. This doesn't make you cool. He now has a criminal record. Prevented him from getting jobs when he was 16. Lost contact with him a while back. Being too adult. Teenagers tend to confuse intelligence with wisdom. There are certain things you only learn through personal experience / growth and maturity. Sometimes it's better to just be the quiet person in a room and soak in the knowledge from other people. Smoking cigarettes. Teachers that impose their political views. Narrow-minded friends. And voter apathy. Being an asshole with strangers and your family. Being ungrateful for what you have and for what people give you in life. Soda. It eats your teeth and you will regret the cavities later. Smoking. Vaping. Drinking. You won't be missing anything. Trust me. Posting stupid shit online. It's way too easy to post something that you'll regret down the line just because you think it's a little funny now. Drunk driving. Trust me. 6 kids from my high school, my sophomore year back in 1999 I think, all went to the local party spot, got drunk, then went driving in a classmate's older brother's convertible. Took one turn too fast and crashed. No one was wearing seat belts and the top was down. I think only 2 survived. Classmate's older was among those who were killed. Vaping. You look cool for a minute and end up with a lifelong addiction and money pit. I started as an adult, and I can't even imagine starting as a teen. Put down the jewel, guys. Buying too many clothes. When you are young, you get carried away with fashion and spend all of your money and perhaps regret it later. If it makes you happy, then do it, but also think about the future. Maybe that little bit extra put away now will grow if you invest it instead. Don't hang around people who are cavalier about gun safety. Also, felons aren't as cool as your friends think they are. Honestly, if I had to tell my younger self what to avoid, it'd be obsessing over how popular and likable I was. There was no point to it, and I just came out of that with extreme self-esteem issues and weight problems. Eating unhealthy all the time and doing drugs, it will catch up with them, and they'll wish they took better care of themselves later. I'm almost 37, and I look younger than people a decade younger than me. Hey PSSST, please subscribe and like.